What's up, you guys? It's Ben and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything there is related to selling on Amazon. So, given it's now 2020, the one I thought it would be a good idea to give you an up-to-date tutorial as to how to sell on Amazon, guys. In today's video, what I wanted to do is take you step by step what you need to do to get your account sorted and ready for you to bring out your first product on Amazon as quickly as possible. 2021 is a great time for you guys to start selling. Given there's so much going on in the world and more people are shopping online, it's the perfect opportunity for all of you to start making some passive income selling on Amazon. So this video is going to be quite in depth, so make sure to pause, rewind, get your pen and a pad, and let's get started. So, what qualifications do I have to teach you guys how to sell on Amazon? Matter of fact, me, like many other YouTubers out there, have absolutely no qualifications at all. Amazon does not provide any sort of training or anything like that. However, what I do have that I can prove to you guys is experience. Me personally, I've been selling now on Amazon for over 2.5 years, and I started off very small with only £1,200 budget and was able to scale that up to a full-time job. Me, myself, and actually my girlfriend were able to leave our full-time employment and start working on Amazon full-time. Up till today, which is the 10th of January, I've actually launched 60 products on Amazon FBA. Some of them have been amazing successes and quite a few of them have actually been terrible failures. But in the meantime, what I have been able to do is learn a lot of lessons, a lot of painful and expensive lessons that I want to teach you guys in this tutorial to make sure that you don't have to go through the same slow learning curve like I did back in 2018. And just to kind of give you guys some sort of background about myself, just looking at my sales year to date so far, being 10th of January, we already made £28,000. And if we actually do for the last 2 years, you'll be able to see that we are approaching very closely the 1 million mark. I'm currently sitting on £969,000, which I'm super happy about. And as you can see through my sales, there have been many dips and highs throughout the journey, but overall I have been increasing my sales consistently each and every single month. And this last year, due to coronavirus, I was able to make over £700,000 in the year of 2020. So that being said, let's get to it. Right, guys, so the first thing that you're going to have to do is set up your own limited company. Now, when it comes to selling on Amazon, you have to understand that it's actually not you selling on Amazon. It's going to be the company that you own. Your company is its own identity, effectively, that is going to be dealing with Amazon on a day-to-day basis. So if you're going to take Amazon professionally and quite seriously, this is the very first step you're going to have to do. And it's very simple. What you have to do is simply Google setting up a company on the gov.uk, and it's simply going to take you step-by-step process into setting up your own company. Now, the things that you really have to worry about is making sure that all of the information, and I can't stress this enough, is completely 100% accurate, okay? All of this information on your company is going to be checked and verified by Amazon later on down the line. So make sure to take your time and check through each and every single thing that you put in onto this application form. You're going to have to put in your full names, your national insurance number, your address, your business address, your nationality, your passport, and various other things as well. However, overall, this process does usually take around 30 minutes, okay? But make sure not to rush it. You will have to pay, I believe, a £12 joining fee, and then all of the documentation that you're going to need for your company is going to be mailed to you by post in the next 3 to 5 business working days. And in that post, you're going to have quite a lot of information that make sure you keep throughout your whole journey by selling on Amazon. That information around your company is very important and vital, because if you ever do need to prove what your company is about and what it does in its existence, that is the evidence that you're going to provide to Amazon. So make sure to keep that. That being said, This is a very, very easy step, and if you are serious, this is the first step you're going to have to do. It literally, like I said, it will take you 30 minutes, no more. And then once you have registered your company, that's it. Okay, it's not you dealing with Amazon anymore, guys. It is your business that deals with Amazon. Okay, and as a legitimate business, your business is going to have its own Amazon account, its own business bank account, and everything else that your business needs to start selling on Amazon as quickly as possible. So you have finally created your business. Congratulations. Now, the next step you're going to have to do is set up a business bank account, because just like you have your own current account where you pay your mortgage, you pay your bills, and so on and so forth, your business, given the fact that it has its own legal identity, is going to need those things too. And the first thing you need to do is set up a business bank account for your business. Now, there are many banks out there, effectively retail high street banks that you can go for, such as Lloyds, RBS, HSBC, and so on and so forth. And Lloyds is actually one of the banks that I used when I started. However, the process with those guys is quite long, okay? You're going to need to provide them with quite a lot of information. They're going to have to do a lot of security checks for you. And instead of taking half an hour with like setting up the business, you're going to take about 1 to 2 weeks to set up the business bank account. So what I came up with is actually 3 new fintech business bank accounts that you can now set up. So if I were to do all of this again, I would definitely go with one of these fintech banks. And the first one that I wanted to show to you is Tide. Now, Tide is very simple, very minimalistic, so to speak. It's very easy to set up a business bank account, and it's quite good, to be honest, on a very sort of simple level. If you're just a person that is going to take Amazon quite seriously, you may take 3 to 5 products, then Tide is probably going to be the best business bank account for you, because it doesn't have too much functionality. It's free to open up, and it's very easy to use. The next one for you guys that you could potentially go for is World First. Now, World First is a much more complex, to be honest, a business bank. However, it is more functioned towards online retail sellers. So when you say that you are opening up a business bank account for Amazon FBA, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about, okay? Whereas others will need some explanation, will need some more verification, and so on and so forth. World First understands Amazon FBA and will be able to help you as quickly as possible, and their customer service is also really good. However, the problem with World First is the security does take a little bit longer than Tide. However, it is still a very good option for you guys to use. And then last but not least is Starling Bank. Starling Bank is also a very great fintech bank that has come up, I believe, in the last 2 years, that I've heard a lot of students had a great success when they set up a business bank account with Starling Bank. Now, depending on which one is right for you will all depend on what are your needs. Are you going to start selling on Amazon straight away, or is it later on down the line? What is your projected turnover and your budget? Are you going to be someone that is going to be investing £1,000, £2,000 like I did? Or are you going to be somebody that is going to be investing £20,000 or £50,000, is going to be taking this very seriously from the very beginning? Also, compare these banks and their currency exchange rates, because you are going to be buying a lot of stuff, a lot of supplies from China in US dollars. So the bank that is offering the best currency exchange rates will obviously be one of the more preferable ones. So make sure to take your time, do your research around these 3 banks, and then go for the one that meets all of your needs going forward. Because this is important, guys. It's important that you choose the right one right now, because moving banks later on down the line can be quite tedious, which is why I'm still stuck with Lloyds that I started back in 2018. So you've got your company sorted, and now your business bank account is live. Only then, once those 2 things are fully functional, you are able now to register your seller account, guys. Okay, this is where you go onto Amazon and basically click on to sell on Amazon and register your own selling account. Now, when it comes to selling on Amazon, you basically have 2 options. You have the individual account, or you have the professional seller account. And if you guys are going to take this seriously and you want to make a relatively decent amount of passive income, you're going to sell products from China, then I would strongly recommend you going for the professional seller account. This is where you're going to be paying a monthly fee of £25 plus VAT per month, and Amazon is going to give you its own dashboard and all the tools that you're going to need to monitor your products, see how they're selling, change anything around your listings, add new pictures, and so on and so forth. If you want to go for an individual selling plan, then you may only be able to sell a few products at the time, because your fees are going to be different. You're going to be charged per item each and every single time you sell. And if you do end up selling more than, I say, 20, 30 items a month, which you most likely will, then your fees will actually be higher than as if you would be paying on a monthly fee for the professional selling account. And as you can see, Amazon really states a lot of the benefits of selling online. The number one and the main priority here is the fact that you are reaching millions of customers, guys, straight away. Unlike selling from your own website or somewhere else, you are reaching so many customers from the very beginning. People, when they go on Amazon, they are there to shop. Their credit cards are right beside them and they're there to buy stuff online straight away. And with you partnering up with Amazon, you do not have to worry about getting those customers. You do not have to worry about customers not knowing you, because your product is going to be on the Amazon's website for your customers to see and buy from. Secondly, what they are good at as well is they are able to get you to cancel at any time. You don't have any sort of contract to sign, you don't have any paperwork to fill in or anything like that. So if you sell on Amazon and a few months into it you decide that it's not right for you, maybe it's taken up too much of your time, it's too stressful, or your personal circumstances have changed, you can cancel, no problem at all. There's no questions asked whatsoever. So it really gives you that flexibility that a lot of you will be looking for. And then last but not least, one account, all of Europe. So basically what that means is that if you do start selling in one of the countries that Amazon sells in, then your products will be available across the whole of Europe. Now, actually this, as of right now, is no longer correct because of Brexit. If you sell in the UK, you are only going to be selling in the UK, and if you want to sell in EU, you will have to send your product to one of the warehouses in the EU. Prior to Brexit, if you sold in UK, your products were distributed across EU and you were able to sell in France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, and Sweden automatically. Whereas now if you want to sell in those countries, you're going to have to ship those products from China directly into those warehouses and do it like that. It is a little bit more tedious and it's a little bit more difficult, and in my opinion, when you're just starting off, you just want to keep it as simple as possible. It's key, guys. Your learning curve is going to be through the roof, and you want to make sure that you want to keep it as simple as possible. And therefore, I recommend, if you're starting in the UK, stay in the UK. If you're starting in Spain, just stay in Spain for a while. Just get used to how Amazon works, how their fees work, how their structure is, etc., etc. And then if you want to expand, then go ahead and do it. By now, you have all the tools that you need to set up and start selling on Amazon. However, the next step is you're going to need some product research tools to make sure that you find the products that are actually making sales on Amazon. There are millions and millions of products on Amazon, and only a small portion of them are actually making a decent amount of revenue. So how do us sellers here in the UK find out those niches that are making all of the revenue? Well, what we do is we use external research tools. And one of the research tools that I personally recommend to all of my students is Helium 10. Okay, Helium 10 is a perfect research tool which is going to show you how much is a product making in sales, what is their revenue, how have they been doing over the last few months, what has their price history been, and they will give you all of the tools you need all in one, so to speak. So if you do buy Helium 10, you won't need anything else when it comes to product research. And I do have an affiliate link down below in the description of the video. So if you do want a 10% discount throughout your subscription or 50% off on your first month, there'll be a link down below for that. There's also another program that I would advise for guys to use, and that is Jungle Scout. Now, Jungle Scout is slightly cheaper. However, its functionality is also not as great as Helium 10. So if you guys are working on a relatively small budget, like starting off with like £1,000 or so, then maybe Jungle Scout is going to be a better option for you. Now, the difference between the two is that Jungle Scout still will provide you all the necessary figures for you to make a decision when it comes to product research. However, when it comes to actually optimizing your listing, doing the images and tracking your product's progress, this is where Helium 10 is much better. Also, Helium 10 provides you with an option of email follow-ups. And what email follow-ups do is basically whenever your customer buys a product, Helium 10 will send them an email asking for a review. Okay, and this is important because reviews are really important on Amazon, and the more 5-star reviews your product can get as quickly as possible, the more it's going to sell over the long term. So make sure you make a decision. You don't have to commit to a contract or anything like that, so you can cancel the subscription at any point. However, if you are going on a lower budget, my advice would be to start off with Jungle Scout, and once you start making some sales and you see that this is going to be a long-term opportunity for you, then you can move on to Helium 10, because that is precisely what I did. Alright guys, so by now you have your business sorted, your business bank account sorted, your Amazon seller account is all up and running, and you now have the product research software to find the next best-selling product. There is only one more thing that you guys need to have that unfortunately has been introduced over the last few months. Well, over the last few months, Amazon has had a big crackdown by the UK government about all the counterfeit products that they have been selling on their marketplace for over the last few years. So what has Amazon introduced is that you now need to have barcodes from a UK governing body that will basically prove that your products are not counterfeit. And in order to be a member of this sort of community, effectively, of this UK governing body, you're going to have to sign up to something called GS1 UK. This is a company which will provide you with completely legitimate barcodes that you will have to provide to Amazon in order for you to sell on their platform. This is what's going to prove to Amazon that your products are not counterfeit, that are completely legitimate and legal to sell to the customers in the UK. And the problem with this is that you will have to pay for this membership on a yearly basis. Now, when I started, the membership was around £150. However, the fees actually fluctuate based on your turnover. So when you do go and register, so basically click on this button right here, join GS1 UK, they will actually ask you about what your business is selling, what is the projected turnover, and then they will provide you with their fees. And as you can see, if we just click down, they will ask you what you need to do. Join GS1 UK online and get your numbers and barcodes from GS1 UK. This is the only place that Amazon will actually accept your barcodes. So previously, and you might have seen them in previous tutorials, various YouTubers will tell you can get barcodes from various sites, okay, and they're much cheaper for a few dollars and so. However, now Amazon has cracked down on that and will simply not allow you to sell or list a product that doesn't have a barcode from GS1 UK. So you have to unfortunately make sure that you get these barcodes up and running so you don't have any issues whatsoever. And given that I'm here on the video with you guys, if your turnover is under £500,000, your annual license fee is going to be £119 as of right now. What I had to pay is £131 because my turnover by now is from £500,000 to almost £1 million, and next year, hopefully, well, unfortunately at the same time, my turnover is going to be between 1 to 10 million, and my annual license fee is going to be around £203. I know this is a lot of money for you guys in the very beginning to give away without actually starting to sell on Amazon, but this is the last thing that you're going to have to buy before you actually start selling on Amazon. Now guys, let's move on to product research. In this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail about product research. However guys, make sure to remember this. Product research is by far the most important aspect of selling on Amazon. If you can find a product that a lot of customers will be looking for, that has great functionality and will be able to get great reviews, you will be able to make money on Amazon. On the other hand, if your product is in a niche that nobody's looking for, or a product that is of poor quality with a lot of negative reviews, you will really struggle to start selling on Amazon as quickly as possible. So I just came across a yoga mat, okay, and this is kind of just to illustrate my example as to what I do on a day-to-day basis to look for my next product to sell on Amazon. And yoga mats, for example, is one of the most competitive niches on on Amazon, but it's a great niche for me to explain exactly what I'm looking for in a particular niche. And as you can see, yoga mats are selling extremely well at the moment because of the coronavirus, because everybody is locked down at home, still want to exercise. And this is where Helium 10, one of the research tools that I use that we spoke about earlier, really comes into play. So what I do here is I go onto Helium 10, the Chrome extension, which would be able for download once you have bought the program. And what Helium 10 will actually do is it will actually show me how much each and every single product is selling over the last 30 days. And as you can see here, each and every single product at the moment that is on the first page on yoga mats is over £1,000, which is amazing. Okay, this is the first thing that I want to see. The next thing that I'm looking for is the graph over the last 30 days. Is the product on an incline, i.e. product sales are going up, or are they declining? However, guys, when it comes to doing product research, remember the time of the year as well. Given that we're in January, given we're at the time where a lot of people are doing New Year's resolutions and they're being under lockdown, a lot of these products will be selling a lot better than usual. So make sure to keep in mind, for whatever product that you're looking for, is it that time of the year where that particular product is going to be selling well? Clearly, the revenue is more than enough for this particular niche, so it's a great niche to get into if you can find something different, something special. And what I like to do here is then look for products that have got a relatively low review count, i.e. products that have started to sell not too long ago but are already doing quite a lot in revenue. So for example, this product has only got 7 reviews but already has sold over £4,500 in sales. And what one would do is click on the product, read through the reviews, and actually look at the product and want to understand what makes it so unique, what makes it so special. And then what I would do is have a look through the niche in general. What is it missing? In the case of yoga mats, can I come up with a different design or a different shape of a yoga mat that people will potentially buy? Here we have another listing that is very, very nice, and as you can see, the differentiation here is the design of the yoga mat, and that is all you effectively need to stand out. Guys, remember, on Amazon there are so many products that a lot of them will look the same to customers. So if you can come up with a product that it has a different shape to it, different size, different style, different color, or something that will make you stand out from the rest of the crowd, whatever it may be, you have a very, very good chance of making a lot of money on Amazon. So in this case, for this example, what I would be doing is looking for products that have potentially a different design or a different color or some sort of picture on the yoga mat to make sure that my product really stands out. After doing extensive product research around yoga mats, what do you do next? Where do you find the products to buy from China that you can ship over to Amazon and start selling there as quickly as possible? Well, the website that most of us go to is actually Alibaba.com. This effectively is Amazon for China. This is where a lot of Chinese sellers will place their products for us UK buyers and from around the world to buy from, and then they will actually ship those products over here to our country. So now that we're onto this website, what we want to do is basically message a few suppliers, okay? But before we message a few suppliers, we want to make sure that we understand exactly what we're looking for, what we're looking from a supplier, and also what we're looking from the product. And the first thing from the supplier side of things, what we want to do is make sure that their response rate is as high as possible. There's nothing more frustrating, guys, to basically send out 20 or 30 messages and none of the suppliers come back. So having suppliers that have a good response rate, ideally above 90%, is always a good start. Next thing is the years of operation. This is also really important, guys. The years of operation is really important because if you are dealing with a company that is relatively new, which in this case is around 1 year old, that is a negative. And the reason why it's a negative is because they may not know how selling on Amazon works, what they need to do, and how shipping to Europe works as well. You may find yourself actually teaching these guys a lot of things that they should already know. And this is the last thing you want to do when you are starting off selling on Amazon yourself. You want to make sure that you're dealing with a supplier that's experienced, that has dealt with UK or EU sellers before, and that knows exactly what they're doing, and they may be able to actually help you instead of you helping them. So it's not to say that 1-year-old suppliers are bad. However, you may have more hassle than you really want to in the very beginning. And then last but not least, you obviously want somebody that is a verified supplier and hopefully with a trade assurance gold standard. What this basically means, guys, is that those guys have actually been verified by Alibaba as a trustworthy suppliers. So if you have any issues with your product, with the shipping, anything to do with the actual shipment itself, you can actually speak to Alibaba, and given the fact that they have been verified, you will be eligible for a refund. So let's say you buy 500 mirrors, and once they've come in, 200 of them are cracked, for example, then you can actually apply to Alibaba and say that the supplier did not package them properly. Please could I get my refund for those 300 units? And this is really, really important because it eliminates that risk of a supplier just taking your money and running away from it. So these are the sorts of products that we'll be looking for. Now, as you can see, they all look quite the same, but if we're looking for a custom potential product, we're going to have to contact supplier and actually tell them what we're looking for. So what I want to do now is I actually want to show you what exactly do I say to my suppliers on the very first message. And the very first message, guys, it has to be really, really simple. Remember, guys, you're dealing with people in China, and people in China, their first language is not going to be English. So make sure you're trying to keep this conversation as simple as possible and straight to the point as quickly as possible as well. You don't want to negotiate, you don't want to do anything in the very beginning. You just want to ask the main questions and get them to respond to you as quickly as possible. And as you can see, I've said here, I hope you're well. I'm a wholesale business based in the UK that would be interested in buying 500 units of your yoga mats. Could you please answer? Now, as you can see, I've actually said I'm a whole business based in the UK. I've told them my country. However, what I did not tell them is that I'm selling on Amazon. The less people know that I'm selling on Amazon, the better, okay? You only tell people that you're selling on Amazon at the very end of the negotiations, because instead of telling that to absolutely every single supplier, you only tell a handful. So make sure to keep that in mind going forward. And the first question you want to ask is obviously the price per unit. And the price per unit is also very important, and they will provide that price to you guys in dollars, okay? It's not going to be in British pounds or European euros. It will be in US dollars. So make sure you do the conversions to understand how much it will cost you in British pounds. The second one is the shipping cost, and this is where you also have to provide your own address, because the shipping costs to your address will be different to anywhere else, and then the supplier will actually have to calculate those shipping costs and provide that to you as well. Now, depending on the time of the year, depending on the product, depending on what shipping you're going to use, whether it's air, sea or train, will depend on the cost of the shipping. If you're going for something that is relatively small and light in a size of a small box, then you may want to go for air shipping. Air shipping effectively, guys, is something that is relatively quite expensive. However, it's very quick. So products from China that can be shipped today will most likely be able to reach you next week. However, if you're buying a large amount of products, such as yoga mats, for example, 500 units, 1,000 units, that will take up a lot of space, you're much better off going for train shipping or sea shipping. Now, that shipping methods are much slower, but they're also much cheaper as well. They may take around 4 to 6 weeks for you to come in, depending on how many delays there are at the border. However, you will find yourself saving a lot of money in the process. So the next question I would ask is, what is the product's functionality? And that is like a very generic question that I'll ask for absolutely every single product. And for this particular product, I would expect them to tell me the material that the yoga mat is made of, what are the dimensions of the yoga mat, what it's been used for, and so on and so forth. I really want to get a good understanding of what the yoga mat looks like. So ideally, if I could get even some pictures of the yoga mat, that would even be better. Also, do you have any products in stock ready to be sent off? That is also, to me, very important, guys, because what may happen is that some of these suppliers have just sent off all of their stock, and if you do want to order, you're going to have to wait for them to manufacture it first and then get them to send it off. And imagine, let's say you're ordering 1,000 units and they're not been manufactured. Let's say it takes a month for them to produce that 1,000 units, and then also another month or month and a half for them to actually arrive to your UK address. That will mean that if you buy something today, you will not see the product for at least 2.5 months, which can be quite annoying and frustrating. So ideally, you want to go for suppliers that do have products available that can be sent off right away. And then last but not least, I would ask, what is the lead time for this product? So what the lead time means is how long will it take from today if I order for me to receive those products? It's as simple as that. And ideally, the shorter for me, the better. I want to make sure that I have a fine balance between having the best product possible at the lowest possible price that will come to me as quickly as possible. And that's all it is, okay guys? No more, nothing less, okay? This is the first message that I will send to as many suppliers as possible, and then start my negotiation process. Try to find out how much I can get if I order more or less, and if I'm a repeat customer, will I get some sort of a discount, and so on and so forth. Again, this is one of the topics that I do cover in my other videos, so please make sure to check them out. Last step of this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to list your first product on the Amazon UK marketplace. By now, you should have everything ready and set in place. You should have your business, you should have your business bank account, you should have your Amazon seller account fully functional. You should also have research software and also your GS1 UK barcodes. By now, you should also have bought a product that is now on the way to the UK warehouse or to your address. So, guys, what do you do next? Do you just sit around and just wait for 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, how long it takes for the product to come in? Well, guys, what you can do is actually create your first listing and fully optimize it. So when the products do come into the UK, you're completely 100% ready to start making sales right away. So the first things that you guys need to do is go onto the catalog, and this is the dashboard they're going to see when you do create your own account. And you will click on add products and you will come up to this page. And here what you're going to click is adding a product not sold on Amazon. And here it will actually take you to a page where you will have to choose the category for your particular product. Now you have two ways of doing this. You can either go and browse by category. So for example, for yoga mats, it's most likely going to be in fitness or health and fitness or sports or something like that, or outdoors or something. Or you can do what I do and simply type in yoga mats into the search bar right below it. Okay, and it will give you suggestions that you should go for. Okay, and here you can see you have exercise mat, which is in sports and outdoors, fitness, yoga, and mats, or you have exercise mats. Whichever you choose doesn't really matter as long as those niches are relevant. So for this example, I'm just going to go for select category. Now that we click on select category, it will take me to the page of creating my own listing. And this page is super important, guys, because this is where you provide all the details to Amazon, first of all, most importantly, but also very importantly, you will make sure that your listing stands out as much as possible. And I will take you through step by step. So first things first, we're going to change this to advanced view. Product ID, this is where your barcodes will come in. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is from your GS1 UK barcodes, once you have paid for the subscription, you will get 1,000 barcodes for you to use that are completely legitimate. So what you do is you put in UPC, and then you will copy and paste one of the barcodes into this field right here. Next step, what you're going to do is product name. Okay, now for product name, guys, you're going to have to use your Helium 10 software to make sure to come up with a product name or title that people will use to find your product. In there, and in many of my videos, I teach you how to do this. You will go through a lot of the software that they have available to find out what key terms do customers use to come across a yoga mat, because you can type in yoga mat, you can type in women's yoga mat, you can type in exercise mat, so on and so forth. And what it will show is it will show you which keywords are being used the most and that are relevant to your particular niche, and you will type that in here. Next up, we have brand name. Now this is also, guys, very, very important. In the very beginning, you will not have a brand registered. Okay, you're just trying to sell some products on Amazon in the very beginning. So what I would do here is I would type in N/A because you don't have a brand. Now after a while, once your product has been established, once you've started selling, then you can apply for a trademark and get an actual full brand name that is completely legitimate and registered in the UK marketplace, and then you will replace that brand name in here later on down the line. Okay, and last but not least, you will type in the product dimensions. This is also very, very important, guys, because using these dimensions, people will use them to find out whether your product is medium, small, large, and so on and so forth. And the more information you can provide here, the more searchable your product is going to become. So make sure not to skip these steps. Type in the color map, size, and so on and so forth. Now, this is not the finish. This is just the very, very beginning. The next step we go is on offer. Okay, and on offer, this is where we have a few very important fields to create. The first one is you're going to choose your price. Okay, so in this case, we're just going to type in $9.99 or something like that. But also what we're going to do is we're going to put in here new. Okay, now some categories you will be able to sell products that are used but look like new or in good condition, whereas here it's a locked field and you can only sell new products. So make sure to choose new. And then next, but not also very, very importantly, is at the very end, you will choose the fulfillment channel. And you have two options here, guys. First of all, you have the option of fulfilling it yourself, i.e. you have the products at your own home and you send them to customers one by one yourself, which is called FBA, or you have it fulfilled by Amazon, which basically means you send those products to Amazon, the warehouse, and you let Amazon fulfill it for you. So when a product order comes in, Amazon will do absolutely everything, of course, for an additional fee per product as well. And this is how I was able to scale my business from one product to 40 products. I would not be able to fulfill all of the orders that I'm getting at the moment, which is around 200 to 300 a day. That would just take up too much of my time and I would have to employ people. So instead of doing that, what I did is fulfill everything by Amazon instead. Now that that is done, the next very important thing to note, guys, is the images. Now the images, guys, is by far the most important part of your listing. Okay, when people click on your product, the very first thing they're going to do is look at your images. So make sure that those images are of very, very high quality and they really show off your product. They show off how good your product is, how different your product is to the competition, how much better your product is as well, because based on those images is what will people base whether or not they should buy your product. Of course, there are many other factors involved, such as reviews, such as what you write in your description. However, the images is the one key area that you really, really have to focus on from the very, very beginning. Next up, description, guys. This is where you type in description. This is where you describe your product and also provide the key product features. So the product description is very important because you want to describe how your product is being used and what it should be used for. The key here is, guys, is to type in as many search terms in here as possible. So to make sure that your product comes onto the first page on Amazon as quickly as possible. The more search term you use, the better. So make sure to have a list of search terms such as yoga mat, exercise mat, mats for sports and whatever, and make sure to type all of those into the product description whilst describing the product. You also have to do that exactly the same thing for the key product features. And the key product features are those 4 or 5 bullet points that all of you will see when you click on a product listing. You will see those bullet points beside the images, okay? And it's also very, very important to use those search terms in the key product features, because Amazon will use that information to make sure to understand where your product should be listed in which category, where it should be on the first page, and so on and so forth. And then last but not least, you're going to go on to keywords, and this is where you tell Amazon directly, and it's only to Amazon, what search terms do you want the listing to appear on. And this is simply just type in search term after search term to tell Amazon these are the ones that I want my listing to be on the first page for, and you're giving Amazon a helping hand and getting them to index your product listing for those search terms. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys found it useful. If you did, Please don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more videos on my channel about each and every single one of these areas that I go into detail about how to list your product, about how to do the images, how to make sure you include all of the search terms to make sure that your product is on the first page. I also go into detail about product research and how to make sure you go into the right niche and what kind of products to look for when you're just starting off. So make sure to check the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.